All right, guys, we live here on the X 88.9 FM, WMCX, West Long Branch, New Jersey, for BCP Plus presents the Downbeat Beatdown Hour. Lots of wrestling, lots of good tunage, and of course we are here with, I think, a couple days after the birthday boy, the anti-smart, Mr. Matt Wittes. How was your birthday, my friend?
It just keeps on going and giving.
I love it, man. You got some of them Buc-ee's, what are they called? Beaver Nuggets. I gave you some of those. So, also, I think I have a drill for you in my car now that I forgot about it.
Beaver Nuggets, those are Kellogg's Pop,
like the corn pops, yeah,
on steroids. They're amazing.
They're so good with like a little bit of like a mapley, not a commercial by any means, but those things are so good, man. So some goodies for you, man. I hope you're having a good birthday week, man, and very well deserved. So a lot of wrestling stuff. We kind of talked off air. Some of the things we touched on. Of course, we had NXT yesterday. TNA had Victory Road. John Cena only has 5 dates left. I wanted to lead with this though, Matt. On I guess it was Friday Night Smackdown. The main event was Tiffany Stratton defending her WWE Women's Championship against Jade Cargill, who still has not won that title, and Nia Jax, two former Queen of the Rings the past 2 years, 2025 and 2024. And the big talk of the, internet wrestling community was the, I don't even want to say the word botch, was the kind of miscommunication mix-up with Aja Smith counting the 3, or counting 2 and 7/8, and Nia Jax's shoulder still being on the mat. A little miscommunication there. Unfortunately, it was very visible. People were, even press people and wrestling journalists were very critical of it. I certainly have my thoughts, man. At the end of the day, it was a solid match. It was a little clunky, and these are all like really great talents, but throughout the night they were showing Stephanie Vicaire interact with all the different competitors. Who is Stephanie going to face at Crown Jewel in Australia, where you were recently, by the way? So you have this match. It's a little clunky, and I think when Jade got thrown into the ring steps, she gets busted open, which creates that, the Crimson Mask visual. And Jade went right for the cameras, really leaned into it, which I thought was great.
That was a fantastic move on her. Very a veteran move, if there ever was one, pulled off by Jade Cargill.
Yeah, and respect to her for that. And then you see Aja Smith doing a lot of, the ref is the, and we're not pulling anything back here, the ref is the communication, like, for everybody, time cues, hey, wrap it up. But to me, the number one thing, and I say this on the indies, and we give the guys on the indies their prop, you keep everybody safe. That's the number one thing. And she did a great job. You could see Aja running around back and forth, communicating to everybody, but also she took the time to take whatever that was to kind of stop the bleeding on Jade. And I think that kind of set everything probably back a few minutes. That probably kind of was a little, not a hiccup, but something that set everything off, that kind of stressful situation during the match that threw everybody off a little bit. For me personally, everyone's kind of coming down on it. To me, at the end of the day, Aja kept everybody safe. I think they get a pass. It's a Friday Night Smackdown main event match, and I'm not taking anything away from it. I can give this a pass. Like, I'm not going to hate on it. That's just me personally, but I saw a lot of hate for this. And I get storyline, and there should be rules, and, she counted to 3, that's it. Back in the day, if you counted to 3 and your shoulder was on the mat, that's on you. But she was keeping everybody safe and made sure they took care of the blood with Jade and all that. So to me, you get a pass. That's my take on all of it, Matt. Did you see some of this? Do you have any thoughts on this?
The biggest thing I've seen, and as we always say, the only thing wrestling fans hate more than professional wrestling is other wrestling fans. Saw huge, even articles from bigger things saying, should she be fired over this? Calm down.
Stop it.
Calm down, everybody. Look, you and I have both been peripheral to professional wrestling for years now.
Yeah.
Mine was more in the past. Yours is a lot more
for
recent. Sure. But neither of us have the expertise to go ahead and say anything on that.
Very true.
All the talking heads can talk about it all they want. And so far, I don't hear any of them, blowing up on Aja Smith. So let it happen. It's something that happened. A lot of things happen in professional wrestling.
And it's going to happen again.
Yeah, something like that will happen again.
And again, you could see just things they were really just trying to, because you're on USA Network, you have your time cues, things you got to get to the end of the match, you got to get to the finish, and I think everyone just wasn't on the same page because Jada got busted open and Aja was doing a great job. But if you look, she's running back and forth, visibly talking to people. So I think she was doing her job in my mind and keeping everybody safe. Yeah. I give this one a pass. I'm not going to be all over it. And I'm sure I'm going to contradict myself down the line. There's going to be this big pay-per-view title match. I'm like, that was 3. It was Rey Mysterio or whatever, me being very biased. But no, I just wanted to address that. I felt
the biggest difference is if she had counted the 3, like I believe that all referees are taught, then okay, Tiffany is protected because she wasn't part of the pin, and you work it back in the next couple of weeks. This, okay, now the cleanup is, you see that I had her pinned, the referee made the mistake, and that just adds a little something to it later. They can address it with 2 lines and forget about it ever again.
Yeah. I think you hit it right on the head, man. That's certainly our take. And, of course, at Crown Jewel, you're going to get Stephanie Vaquer versus Tiffany Stratton. Of course, we'll have our picks coming up in a couple weeks, I'm sure. I'm very excited for that match, of course. Stephanie Neo putting on a clinic, of course, at WrestlePalooza. Matt, I do want to throw on the tunage because we have so much to talk about. So we want to get to our good friends, End of an Era. I've been featuring them on the show the past couple weeks. They had a great show last night at Dingbat's big reunion show, Blacktooth Grin, Johnny B. Mormid. And I wanted to play this one again. It's a little, get us going here, Matt. It's called Giving In Again by, of course, our good friends, End of an Era. All right, great job. Great tunage by our friends End of an Era. Again, big reunion show last night at Dingbats. Guys, you're listening to the Downbeat Beatdown Hour here, presented by your boys from BCP Plus here on the X 88.9 FM, West Long Branch, New Jersey, here with the anti-smart. As Matt, there's so many things to talk about, but over this past weekend, we already touched on Smackdown a bit. We had TNA Victory Road, which I have not seen, and then NXT, where I've read some results. I was away doing some wrestling stuff this weekend. I got some great coverage for you guys coming up next week, or in next couple weeks. But we also had NXT, I believe it was No Mercy, yesterday as well. And Matt, you had just told me some interesting title results from that.
From both of them, yes. For those who have been watching either product for a while now, they're doing this sort of crossover NXT versus TNA thing. People have been showing up on both shows. In fact, right now, Trick Williams, NXT wrestler, is the TNA champion and has been for a while. And they're kind of working a thing where the TNA locker room is, kayfabe very upset. I would imagine legitimately pretty upset that the NXT wrestler is walking around with their championship.
Real quick, can I ask you something real quick? Because there's so much to cover. Because I kind of have my thoughts on that. What did you think about? Basically, it was NXT Homecoming, which was really a lot of fun. They sold some of the old merch and the old DIY stuff.
Oh, yeah.
You saw Finn and Johnny. It was really, really cool. I really enjoyed it back at Full Sail. But during that show, and I have a bone to pick with it, so let me know. Push back, Matt, if you need to, if I'm being too nitpicky critical, which I often am. But during the show, all of the TNA roster, I think it might have even been Matt Hardy's birthday, and he put out something like during his birthday, but all of the TNA roster was basically putting out, hey, you know what, this doesn't sit right with me. Why do these guys have this title? Now, Trick has had this title for some time. This isn't new. Yeah. JC had the women's title for some time, so this isn't new. But looking at the tweets during that show, and I could see where it was going. You're like, oh, they're going to do an invasion. But it was the same. All of the tweets were worded like it was almost like there was a copy and paste email sent out by corporate. And everyone kind of put their own spin on it. Like, I'm the anti-smart Matt Wittes, and I don't like what Rob's doing at blah, blah, blah. And then, Amanda puts one out, and Bill puts one out. And so to me, it was like a little... not disingenuous, but a little forced, just because it's nothing new. Like, Trick's had this belt. Ziggler, Nemeth went on Busted Open and talked about, like, hey, this doesn't sit right with me. I'm a TNA guy now. So that was very organic. This felt kind of forced. That being said, seeing everyone show up the following week was actually really cool. I mean, you knew it was going to happen, but it was cool in the sense that you saw most of the people in that ring were former NXT talent and waving that TNA flag, and rightfully so. So we could get some cool matches, cool stuff at Bound for Glory. It looks like there's like a gauntlet battle royale coming out, so I think that might play a factor. But just the way it was on Twitter and everyone kind of had the same post to me felt kind of But that's me nitpicking. But go ahead, Matt.
Yeah, the whole thing seems to be, since this whole thing started, was, TNA is just losing their heat over and over again to NXT. They're losing their title. This week the other day at Victory Road, Ash by Elegance, the former Dana Brooke, had to vacate the TNA Knockouts title due to injury.
Did they say due to injury?
They said due to injuries. Whether that's legit or whether that's storyline, I don't know.
I don't want to speculate.
I think there's also something about retirement in there.
Oh, well, that's significant.
I'm just going off a million things that come through social media and whatever.
Yes.
But then they had a battle royal where the last two would duke it out for the vacant title. The last two were Lei Ying Lee, the former Xia Li of NXT, and NXT's Kalani Jordan.
She's phenomenal.
They faced off, and Kalani Jordan is amazing. Glad that she gets a title. I'd like her to get the title in her own company.
Yeah.
She is now the knockout champ. So right now, two NXT superstars are the TNA major title holders.
That's fascinating to me because they JC had both, and they took it off of JC, so now they had one. Now they're going back to NXT people having both titles. That's interesting to me. It seems like everything's being set up. We were saying this was Slammiversary, and perhaps a missed opportunity with Santana. We'll get into that. But going into Bound for Glory, it sounds like they're kind of setting everything up for this big, what they consider to be their biggest show, Bound for Glory. Slammiversary, though, was pretty big deal. Like, yes. they were putting all their chips in for that. Has TNA cooled off a little bit? Maybe a little bit. And I've been waving that flag. I've been very appreciative of TNA for the opportunities, both for myself and Victoria. But right now it feels, and if I'm being honest, it feels like it cooled off a bit, and now it's probably heating back up for this Bound for Glory.
They need to do something with this, as far as both companies are concerned, because they're now heavily invested in each other at this point. Is that, okay, they had like you said, they had the homecoming, and throughout the night, all the media posts are going out. Seems very orchestrated. Oh, how come I was invited? How come I was all the TNA wrestlers? Okay, build the resentment. And then the next night, we thought that we were going to see this thing happen, and it was at the very last minute, the Oba Femi versus Trick Williams title for title match. That's when the locker room comes out, blows everything up, the schmaz ending, okay, and then that was the go home show for both Victory Road and No Mercy. And I don't think it applied to either show in the least. Like, was there a payoff? And it's probably going to go to Bound for Glory. That's a great point. Also, I don't mean to laugh. It was also kind of funny because they're all rumbling at the end. You see everyone kind of sitting in the crowd. Just Steve Macklin back at Full Sail. So good to see. See some of these former NXT guys now in TNA. Cardona coming out, got a big pop, and that was crazy.
Everyone's looking, but they're all just kind of standing there. And then it all goes down like you said, and they're all belong in the ring. Meanwhile, Ricky Starks just goes over to the title, just looking at it, and then Oba Femi just faces off. So you do get kind of like that advertisement for the, what's going to be the title match at that time. But I saw a bunch of memes that were hilarious where, all the chaos is in the back and this is me, focusing on whatever the goal is or the joke is. So I thought that was great. But you told me something just a few minutes ago, because I have not watched NXT yet. There was a major title change.
Yes. At No Mercy, Ricky Saints.
Wow.
Chops down the unchoppable tree that is Oba Femi. Oba Femi's had I think three losses in his entire NXT career so far, and one of them, Ricky Saints, hits him with that rope walk DDT 3 times in a row, and he is now the NXT champion, and that is going to play into our next conversation coming up too.
Do you real quick? Do you think this means that Oba, because Oba has just been, like you said, only 3, if that, losses, has been so dominant. He's had those nods from The Undertaker. I think when we were at Madison Square Garden, there's the backstage with the nod from the guy, the Undertaker. You get that nod from the dead man, and he's been running through everybody. I didn't think Ricky Saints would be, not the first go around. I didn't think Ricky Saints was going to be the guy. Did I think Ricky would win the championship eventually? Yes. He kind of had that feud with Ethan Page, back and forth, hot potato with the North American Championship. Now he's dethroned the ruler. Oba, I'm a huge fan of Oba. I think he's the real deal. He's the truth. I love his promos. I love his interviews. If you listen to his interviews, Boley or someone will ask him a tough question, he'll have a great answer. Hey, do you think this guy should be in your match or have this opportunity? He did this, and Oba will be like, no, I beat him already. He's very. There's a little bit of decorum with him. He's princely and kingly.
Yes.
And I think he's the total package. So my question to you, Matt, when people like this lose, Stephanie Vicaire, are they going to the main? Is he going to the main roster right now? Is that what's happening?
I think it's a given. I think we are going to see him, and we haven't seen Tony D'Angelo in a while.
True.
I think they're both popping up on SmackDown or Raw by the end of the year.
Or Rumble's too far away.
Rumble might be a little too far away. Was that early February this year?
It's not even end of January. Is it early February? You might be right. I know it's not
I'm
here.
I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I haven't looked ahead.
It's overseas. And then, do you think Jericho's coming back at that Rumble? Bill seems to think.
I
Jericho's
mean,
coming back to
it would make all the sense in the world. He comes back and maybe has, a match, again, a go away, a farewell tour for him of like 3 to 4 matches before he ends up being what he always said he was, our party host.
Yeah.
And just put him on the network, put him on the vault, have him being a presenter at the big shows. I mean, he can do that till the end of time.
I'm making my own highlight here, man. Here's my little theory, right? I'm going to put it out here for the world. All right, I'm going to post this later. But I think Chris Jericho will be coming back to WWE in early February, whenever it is, for the Royal Rumble overseas. This is what you do. You know how you have the 10, 9, 8 countdown? Everyone counts down. You have the buzzer. You do the 10, 9, 8, 5, 4, whatever it is. When you get to 5 or whatever, go to like that zzz, zzz, like it goes to the Jericho, the Y2J,
countdown.
like as soon, because it'll be like a pre-pop, and then everybody like, so have the normal 10, 9, and that's a zzz, 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 and then the break the walls down. I think, do it right there. You heard it here first.
Crush it.
I had to take the clip for that one, but just so no one, you could steal it. I mean, this is your company and property, but you heard it here first on the Downbeat Beatdown hour. And real quick, I also want to touch on this, Matt. Again, ton of wrestling. Ash by Elegance, formerly Dana Brooke. We had opportunity to interview her many, many, many years ago. Super, super kind. If she does have some sort of injury, I heard the word retirement. If it's something serious like that, get well. All the best, all the love. She's always super kind and super thankful for the opportunity she's been given. I don't want to speculate if it is, because we've seen it recently, and again, I'm not putting this out there, but if she's pregnant or something of that nature, congratulations. I hope it is a happy thing, just like Naomi, and just all the love to Dana Brooke, for sure. Anything you want to touch on else from NXT or TNA before we talk a little John Cena?
No, nothing.
So I was listening to CVV on the way in here, and there's been a lot of chatter on Busted Open and wrestling podcasts about Cena having 5 dates left. Now, we talked about social media, in quotes, booking. With Cena, I feel like this gets a pass. So Brock, let me ask you this first, Matt. We'll kind of dissect this. Brock Lesnar comes into WrestlePalooza, has an okay start to that match with John Cena. Paul Heyman introduces Brock, which is very interesting. And I took the L last week. Vicky's like, oh, he's going to get back with Brock Lesnar. Paul Heyman's getting back with Brock Lesnar. And I'm like, nah, he's busy with the Division. I was so wrong. So I'll take the L here, Victoria. I said I'd shout her out for that. But John Cena gets some offense in, and sure enough, decimated. I think it was like 7 F5s, decimated from Brock Lesnar. Do you think... What purpose did this serve? Do you think John should have won here? Do you think we're getting a rematch? Because John only has 4 dates if you don't count the match with AJ coming up. Not 4 matches, 4 dates. Well, how's this going to play out? Do you think there was a significance to Brock beating him here? Is this just John saying, hey, like, Brock was just always that guy I couldn't beat? Is he putting Brock over? Is Brock back to keep wrestling? What's going on here?
Yes. No, to all those questions is yes. This frames that if one of John's matches on the way out here is going to be get back his heat from Brock, then fine. If this is John saying, hey, I only have 5 dates left, and WrestlePalooza is the next one, and okay, Brock is back because TKO wants Brock. I'm sure they had to make it worth his while to come back.
Did Cena want Brock, do we think, or is probably more of a business?
I could see it, certainly. If Cena has he
keeps saying
list,
he doesn't pick them, but
if he has a list of people that he's going to go out facing,
I would imagine he has some say.
Again, I would imagine he would have some.
Right.
I would say Brock and Randy, who supposedly they already had their last go-around earlier this year. Who's a better foil for either Punk, maybe? I mean, if you had to make the list of the great Cena opponents,
but he hit all those notes already. You hit Punk, you hit Orton, you hit Brock with only 4 dates. Because now AJ, you're hitting that note. We did our piece we did our piece where we had Cena's last 10 opponents who we thought
had
they
our
would be.
truth.
Yeah,
he's had all these people. So who is left and
who's last?
Who's last?
Not to be like Goldberg, you
Yeah,
know?
because he's had a lot of lasts.
Yeah, I think he's coming back. We interviewed Cross, and he said in front of Goldberg, he's like, I don't think it's his last match. So do you have Brock? Is Brock Cena's final opponent? Do you think?
I could see it, but if Brock's going to be his last one, then Cena's going to go out on a high note, which he can. People have done that.
Cena is very, if I'm just like reading the tea leaves and reading the room, right? Cena is very, I don't want to say against the grain, but he's different. Like the way he did the heel turn was different. People didn't love it. I really loved it because I thought it was clever. I thought it was brilliant. He kept everything the same. It hurt that much more. You had the kid crying, and then, he turned babyface in an 8-minute promo. I did a whole article on it. Apologizes to the kid in France.
That was great.
Sorry, I had a bad day. The kid just wanted a selfie, which is like great. It was so great. And he's like, I love you. I love you. He's like, I love you too. Like, that's what it's all about,
yes.
man. I love it. But the fact that he has it in the palm of his hand, I think they're starting to feel like, hey, and his schedule is crazy. You're starting to feel that you only have 5 left. 1's accounted for. I'll ask you this, Matt. How do you feel about him essentially booking, hey, one more time with AJ would be great. Next day, AJ versus Cena on social media. Like, there was no interaction on Raw or Smackdown or anything like it. It was a social media like, hey, this would be great. Done. Perth. Do you have a problem with that? Do you think it should have been more strongly booked? What do you think?
I don't have a problem with it because here's the thing. You don't need a program for every match. They could... I feel like there should be sort of a thing... Again, it doesn't need, a 12-minute segment on every weekly show, but just have a little thing like, this is it. AJ Styles has lobbied to, general manager for this. I forget which one is on their show, whether it's Aldis or Pierce, but, if it's Pierce, you can go, it is official.
Yeah, exactly.
And put that out there and says... He's got a history with John Cena. John Cena doesn't have that. He wants to go one more time. And that's all you need. That's all you need for some match. It's going to be Perth.
Yeah.
It's going to be overseas. It's not going to have the same kind of viewership here in the States because of the different time. But that's all you need sometimes.
Especially with 2 baby faces.
Yeah.
And 2 guys, like, where Cena's doing the matches, and he's doing, like... I love the little Easter eggs. It's more than an Easter egg. He's doing the Styles Clash. He's doing Edge's spear. I think commentators trying to be like, oh, Roman Reigns was one of his big... But no, that was Edge's spear.
That was Edge's spear, yes.
Could we see Edge? Would Edge's contract be up come December? I don't know. Would Edge be his final opponent? Or are you... I'm asking you all these questions, Matt, because in my mind, I think despite Cena going against the grain and doing his own thing, and he's got something up his sleeve, there's something still coming here. There's going to be something right at the end, and I think somehow it'll come together organically despite the lack of dates he has left. He's going to have something big up his sleeve. I think... And I'm going to stick with this. I think he's old school. I think he is going to go out on his back, like out of respect for the business, and he's going to make somebody look strong. The question is who? I'm sticking with Dom. I'm sticking with Dominic Mysterio, the son of, I'm sure, one of his friends, the future of this business, heat magnet, but the fans love him. He's got one of the AAA championships and a championship that Cena's never won. Not that Cena needs to win it or this should be the major storyline, but there is connective tissue there. The IC Championship, which Cena has never won, and I'm not saying Cena even needs to win it, but could you see Cena putting over a Dom going out on his back? Is that too much? Is Dom good enough for that? Is he the guy? I could
certainly see that, pulling the pin out of that note from earlier. Who?
Yeah, you're right. You said
that would be a great way to establish...
Wait, I thought you were doing the Braun barking. I thought you were doing the who. Yeah, because I'm thinking Braun now too. But yeah,
well, both of them. Yes, Braun Breaker would be fantastic way to put him from, that B tier into that A tier.
I do
very quickly.
I like Oba. I like
Oba
that answer.
Would be fantastic. Just that was Kevin Owens' introduction to the Raw and SmackDown audiences. Was he came out of nowhere and he got the better of John Cena.
Yeah, we were shocked he won.
Yeah. So
wow, I like that for Oba. Oba's we've been talking
that could
so
be amazing. So you could see a Braun, a Dom, and Oba as his last match, because where did he come from? He came out of literally nowhere. He came out of OVW. Nobody knew his name, in generic trunks, and Kurt Angle gave him that shot. So here's his chance of, hey, somebody else come on out, and I'm giving you that shot.
Who do you, if you had to pick one, who is the last opponent for John
If I
Cena?
had to pick somebody,
you had to pick, and you could pick somebody that you want, you know. But if you're booking this, I guess, who do you think? And it's not going to be in Boston. A lot of people are saying it's Washington, D.C., which is not confirmed. But his last date is not going to be in Boston. Wherever it is, his last match, I would assume he wrestles on his last date. Who's he wrestling?
I have a feeling the way that I think is going to be safest all the way around, and I think it's going to be a good one. And depending on what's going on with Heyman and Brock and Seth and the Vision, does Braun Breaker break Cena's career? Does he send him home with a loss?
I hate that, but I'm supposed to hate it.
Yes.
And I love it in the way, because I hate that, but I love it in the way that it's the right, because Cena's not going to be here anymore. He said, I'm going to be in a suit and a tie, I'm going to be in the back, whatever that means. But it propels somebody. It's a story for somebody. I beat John Cena on his last night, and it's got to be heel. Oh, man.
We like the chicken heel. We like, the snake heel, that the underhanded, the trickster heel, the threatening heel, and that's who Braun Breaker would be.
He is kind of the chosen one.
You've got to do that. Like, it's one thing, you get beat by Jimmy Jam Garvin. All right, we're fine with that, because he cheated, he did it. When you're across the ring from Vader, oh no, my hero is about to get smashed to pieces, and if he loses, there's not going to be any green mist. There's not going to be somebody running with it. He's just going to get beat up, and that's a guy he can do it with.
Wow. I think we hit on everything, man. Anything else you want to touch on before we get out of here?
A little quick one, just because a lot has been going on in wrestling media, and again, the talking heads, the social media sphere, and everything. I'm just going to throw out a couple quick ones. So far in the last week or so, all of a sudden, a lot of people hate, TNA Knockouts legend Gail Kim, and then a lot of people have been throwing it in those people's faces, saying, "You obviously don't know who you're talking about." Stevie Richards, one of the nicest guys in the world in the wrestling business, to which he always says, probably a huge detriment to my career.
I feel that.
Apparently now there's a lot of people saying he doesn't know what he's talking about. The guy who learned at the feet of Paul Heyman and Raven, worked for every major U.S. company, and held down the mid cards of those companies for certain periods of time. Guy who knew his job, knew where his ceiling was, and made the most out of it all the way through, and has nothing but constructive criticism for it. Apparently he doesn't know what he's talking about, because he's obviously really trying to get a job with WWE with the way some of the things he's critiqued about Kyle Fletcher and Mercedes Moné. But at the same time, he must really want a job with AEW because of what he's recently said regarding Stephanie McMahon's Hall of Fame induction. Look, he knows things that we don't. You can agree, you can disagree. Face the facts. If you watch enough of these shows, when are Jim Cornette and Kevin Nash and Eric Bischoff and Stevie Richards all going to agree on something? And guess what? It happens more often than you think, and that's where you find out what's pretty close to an objective truth. In the meantime, all our fans, don't lose your heads about it. Like we always say, we've been around, we've talked to a lot of these people, we've worked with some of these people, and we're not going to go off trying to say that we're an expert and they don't know what they're talking about. Leave it alone.
Yeah, I think that's a great point, and we're never going to get a hold on the internet wrestling community by any means, guys. Just, like we always say, be a good person, be kind. If you have a platform, use it for some good sometimes, a charity or something like that. Always try to be a good person. Don't like, even here, like, we try not to speculate what's going on with Ash by Elegance. We don't know the extent of the injury. We don't know if it's something else. We don't want to sit here and speculate. We want to wish her well. And like I always say to everybody we interview, thank you for the opportunity. Thank you for entertaining us. What pro wrestling does is it takes us away from the real world and real life. Even right now, sitting down with you, Matt, we get to talk for an hour about pro wrestling, leave our other jobs at work and just have a good time. And then that's what we've always done here, man. So it's great. And like we always say here, of course, on the Downbeat Beatdown Hour, guys, support pro wrestling. Of course, the independent wrestlers that are all over here, New Jersey, there are a ton of great promotions. You'll see some legends. Jillian Hall refed Vicky's match the other night, and she was great. She looks fantastic, so she did a great job. I think what happened, though, Gabby Forza kind of shoved her a little bit, so Vicky rolled her up real quick. The count was a little 1, 2, 3 real quick, but I'm not mad at it.
No.
Vicky
That's it. Like I said, some counts are slow, some counts are fast. You gotta know. Hey,
she's not a referee. It is what it is. But Matt, I hope you had a good birthday week, man. Thanks for joining us here, guys. And of course, you're listening to the X 88.9 FM WMCX West Long Branch, New Jersey, for the Downbeat Beatdown Hour, guys. Like we always say here, everyone stay safe, stay positive. BCP is brought to you by our favorite store, Funkenstein Wrestling Superstore, located in the Englishtown Flea Market in New Jersey from 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. Saturdays and Sundays, and online at FunkensteinWrestlingSuperstore.com. Get your favorite wrestling merch, retro video games, Ninja Turtles, Ghostbusters, G.I. Joe, so much more. It's our favorite store. Thank you, Heather and Dan, for sponsoring the BCP. Also got to welcome back our sponsors, the No Gimmicks Podcast, the podcast that keeps it 100% real 100% of the time. Check out our guy Kelvin, only on the No Gimmicks Podcast. Wrestling All Day, All Night is the best wrestling discussion group on Facebook. We provide more of a community feel here, and have wrestling fans introduce other fans to something they may not have seen before, such as old school wrestling, indie wrestling, Japanese wrestling, and so much more. We also strive to be a source of information regarding upcoming wrestler meet and greets and signings. And remember, we're open 24/7, all day, all night. Be sure to follow on socials and join the group on Facebook at Wrestling All Day, All Night. Welcome back our sponsors, Sweet Chin Musings. Sweet Chin Musings is the creation of the reigning, rarely defending, highly disputed champion of wrestling podcast, Mr. Perfect, Mike Mueller, and his tag team partner in crime, Luke Kudialis. SCM focuses on the in-ring product of WWE and AEW, no dirt sheet rumors here, as well as backstage news, predictions, and analysis of characters, storylines, and major pay-per-views. Old school fans, don't worry, we have you covered as well, with a look back on classic matches, top 10 lists, and interactive tournaments that let the fans decide who is truly the best of all time. You can find them at Facebook at Sweet Chin Musings, and check out the podcast on all major podcast platforms. Please welcome back our sponsors on the BCP Plus and the podcast, GPW Productions. GPW provides your promotion or event with top-tier video, audio production, live streaming, and more. I can personally vouch for them in saying they are hands down the best production company I've ever worked with, as they have and continue to work with the likes of AEW, GCW, StarCast, MLW, not to mention the majority of the local independent promotions here in the tri-state area. They can even help you film a vignette or promo for your persona or gimmick. And guess what? GPW doesn't just work in wrestling. No, they cover MMA, boxing, basketball, or any other sporting event as well. On a personal note, I'd like to thank Mike Sesko, Frank Leone, O'Neil Andros, and the team for giving me multiple opportunities to work with them and some of the best talent in the world. Thank you, GPW, and guys, book GPW for your promotion or event today at contact@gpwproductions.com. Please welcome back one of our favorite sponsors, Mania Club. Established in 2015, Mania Club is a WWE-recognized community for fans with an eclectic love for both the world of professional wrestling and raising money for Connor's Cure. During WrestleMania weekend, we host the official tailgate of WrestleMania while also celebrating the life of Conor McCollum. They are the single largest donor within the V Foundation for Connor's Cure with over 150,000 raised. Please donate and join the Facebook group over at Mania Club on Facebook. Donate at jimmyv.org/Mania Club. Guys, please welcome in our new pod sponsor for the months of May and June, J. Adam Photography. Jay provides quality, artistic, innovative photography with a quick turnaround time. Be sure to check out his latest ISPW wrestling pics and much more stellar content. Right now, wrestlers can do a special portrait shoot with Jay in Sparrow, New Jersey for just $50. Contact Jay at jvogel on Facebook and be sure to follow him across socials. Thank you, Jay, for sponsoring the BCP. Guys, let's welcome in our new pod sponsor, Cooper Groove Grips. When you play Cooper Groove drumsticks, you get increased sensory feedback from your hands, so your grip will naturally loosen, but you have complete control. With that taking place, you don't have fatigue and soreness, which can lead to long-term issues. Guys, as a drummer, Cooper Groove is my drumstick of choice. Sweaty hands aren't a problem. Grip is good. Don't forget to check out their amazing Cooper Groove bats coming out soon. Guys, follow at Cooper Groove Grips on Facebook. Guys, please welcome in our new podcast sponsors, ISPW Weekly, where we dive deep into the world of ISPW, the crossroads of professional wrestling. Join Jumpin' Jay and Total with Tom every week as they interview the stars of the ring, uncover their stories, rivalries, and the electrifying action that defines ISPW. Be sure to check out ISPW Weekly on the ISPW Facebook page every week. Are you looking to press play on Feeling Good Again? Well, Twisted Shamrock Studios and Spa, our premier sponsor here on BCP Plus, Delaware County's Retro Recovery Rebels. They're here to rewind time and reboot the way you heal. From therapeutic massage and assisted stretch therapy to glow-up facials and energy work, this is where function meets feel good. Perfect for athletes, overachievers, and everyday Joes and Janes who need real relief with a vintage twist. Not to mention pro wrestlers. Reboot your body, recharge your soul. Rock the retro vibe. Call or text 484-574-8868 or visit twistedshamrockstudiosSpa.com. Guys, please welcome back our returning podcast sponsor, USDN. USDN Podcast is run by USDN Chairman and the Council of Nerds. We bring you all the latest news and rumors from the world of nerds and consolidate it right here at the U.S. Department of Nerds. USDN is for the people, by the people, and of the people. Follow them at facebook.com/US Department of Nerds. Guys, please welcome in our new pod sponsor for 2025, the Ropes and Riffs podcast, featuring Maestro John Kiernan speaking with the stars of professional wrestling about their in-ring, tunage, gear, and so much more. Check out John's interviews with the likes of Lindsay Dorado, Mercedes Martinez, and so much more. Find the Ropes and Riffs podcast on all major podcast platforms. Guys, please welcome back our returning sponsor, From the Left Side. Get hit from the left side with all the wrestling and sports news you can handle. Thank you, From the Left Side, for sponsoring the BCP. Please welcome back our returning sponsor, independent superstars of pro wrestling ISPW, ahead of their Wild West Wrestling Showdown. That's going to be Friday, September 19th at Wild West City in Byram Township, New Jersey, starting at 7:30 p.m. It's going to be Leo Sparrow challenging Justin Corino for the ISPW Heavyweight Championship. Evil Chica teams with Vicious Vicky Venuto against Tina San Antonio, Ava Everett. Many more matches. Get your tickets now at ispwwrestling.com. Please welcome back our returning sponsor, Warriors of Wrestling, ahead of their acclaimed King of New York tournament Saturday, September 6th at Fun Station in Staten Island, New York. Get your tickets now at warriorsofwrestling.com. Don't forget to get your tickets to Bree Combination Wrestling, the Grand Rumble, a tribute to Mama Pan. That's going to be Sunday, September 21st at the Mecca, 106 Bergen Ave, Ridgefield Park, New Jersey, for the Grand Rumble. Don't forget the BCW World Heavyweight Champion, the Allfather, Darius Carter, defends against Kelsey Reagan. Get your tickets now, and don't forget it'll be streaming on Title Match Network. Please welcome back returning BCP sponsor, Bell to Bell, ahead of Saved by the Bell, September 20th, 2025 at 3 p.m. at the world-famous Monster Factory. Check out matches like Vicky Venuto taking on Gabby Ortiz, Haas House versus Leah Knight and Taylor One Shot. Don't forget, you'll see former WWE superstar Tegan Knox, Lena Cross, and many more. Get your tickets now at bell2bell.com. therapeutic.com. Guys, please welcome back a returning sponsor, EM Collectibles. That's right, they feature live signings, collectibles, toys, and more. Be sure to follow them on their Facebook page and stay tuned for upcoming events. Those upcoming events include September 6th, Veteran Pro Wrestling presents September to Remember, a special appearance by American Gladiator, Malibu, and Glow Star Tiffany Milan. September 27th, 90s Wrestling Con with Scotty Riggs. October 25th, Glory Days Grapple Con 3 with Brutus Beefcake, Harvey Whippleman, Bill Alfonso, and one more possible name. May 2nd, 2026, New England Fan Fest with Adam Ball, Heavy Whippleman, The Headbangers, and Power of Pain. Please welcome our newest podcast sponsor. It's the SDN Podcast for in-depth WWE predictions, pay-per-view reviews, and insightful interviews with wrestling personalities. I highly recommend the SDN Podcast. They cover all the big events and give you expert analysis every single week. Be sure to subscribe and stay updated on everything pro wrestling. Thank you, SDN Podcast, for sponsoring